Introverts already have a hard time finding their place in a world that favors extroverted personalities. As a result, introverts' demands receive insufficient attention and are rarely discussed. This includes how they conduct themselves in the area of love. Do you have an introvert in your life? Here are 10 things they require in partnerships that you should think about. 1. Meaningful conversations. They need a partner with depth, someone who can keep up with them while they discuss alternatives and theories. If there's one thing they never grow tired of, it's simply entertaining themselves with ideas. Ask open-ended questions rather than closed-ended ones with one-word responses. Don't be afraid to share your knowledge and wisdom with them. Be educated. Also, be alert. Intelligence is seductive, sophisticated, and eternal. They're drawn to people who can hold a nice conversation. And I'm not referring to the stereotypical slick sweet talkers. They have a lot of admiration for people who can intellectually challenge them. If you've ever made them doubt something they thought they were certain of, you've almost certainly secured yourself another date with them. Some people never fail to enlighten them with their point of view. They have a lot of squabbles and debates, but it's all in good fun. It's an intriguing mix, how radically different their perspectives are, yet they can still find common ground. 2. Less stimulating environments. They're sensitive to external surroundings. You won't find them going to every social party. Small gatherings and places where they don't have to shout to hear one another are more their cups of tea. It's not about what they're surrounded by that matters, it's about the company they're choosing to spend their time with. They prefer dates that take place in less crowded locations. As someone who gets overwhelmed easily, simplicity is what they aim for. If someone has to constantly be doing something or is prone to boredom susceptibility if he's not doing something new, then they already know they won't be able to build anything long-lasting with him. It says a lot about a person by the places one prefers to spend his time in. Therefore, intimacy is very subjective. Where they choose to spend time with their romantic partner influences deeply how people build connections to establish what closeness means to them. 3. Slow steadiness. The race to their hearts is won at a cautious and steady pace. They pick and choose who they let in. They like to learn as much as they can about somebody before expressing greater affection toward them. While their self-control may make them appear less fascinating on the surface, there is so much more they can provide in a relationship that isn't entirely focused on the component of impulse. If you don't get a kiss from them on your first date, don't take it personally. 4. Sensitivity. As introverts, they tend to internalize a lot, so they're prone to bottling things up inside. They need someone sensitive and considerate of their feelings because they don't enjoy starting conflict. That's not to say they're necessarily afraid of it. It just means they're more careful about what battles they're willing to fight. Those who are judgmental and quick to disregard feelings are the biggest turnoffs for them. What commonly draws them to a love partner is someone who has a keen understanding of human motivations. People who can examine activities and make sense of what is going on, even in the most chaotic of situations. They have faith in people who possess these abilities because it indicates that you recognize their imperfections but yet want to watch them progress and grow from their blunders. 5. Help them get out of their heads. They tend to overanalyzing and overthinking. When their minds flit back and forth with thoughts and anxieties, it's difficult for them to stay in the now. They don't mean to do it, and as a result, it may create distance and miscommunication. Just remember not to take anything too seriously. They're probably pondering their next step because they care about how the relationship is progressing, or they may have a lot of other things on their minds. Assume the position of best friend and offer assistance. It will help them relax, and they will appreciate you much more. 6. Read between the lines. They invented subtlety, therefore they're rarely overtly flirty. They have a highly sophisticated way of communicating. Pay attention to what they're saying as well as how they're saying it. Even the tiniest of statements can have profound implications. 7. Be respectful of their need for space. While they may like you, they also need space. They need to go off on their own to recharge. It's critical not to be oppressive or suffocating. This will just increase their stress levels and may drive them to retreat even further into their shells. 8. Quality time. It's not about how many activities they participate in. It all comes down to how they engage with one another. It is critical to spend quality time with them. Although introverts appear to prefer being alone, they nonetheless desire meaningful human interaction at the end of the day. Learning how to get the most out of time spent together fosters deep bonds. 9. Be mindful of who they are and don't try to change who they are. They live in a society that is preoccupied with self-improvement and is constantly seeking to improve. As introverts in an extroverted culture, they were viewed as persons who could be molded and conditioned to like being in the spotlight from an early age. Because better is intimately connected to extroversion, which is demeaning. They don't need that kind of weight hanging over their heads when it comes to dating. They don't want to waste time with people who perceive them as possible projects to solve while they're trying to create and maintain secure connections. There are lots of self-help books available if people desire them. 10. Don't assume anything. Always ask them questions and keep in touch with them. Silence, on the other hand, can be misunderstood for a variety of reasons, none of which are true. They may be slow to give information since explaining what they think does not come readily to them, but it does not mean they are incapable of doing such duties. It's never a good idea to use mind reading to avoid having tough conversations.